There are women who follow the crowd, who find comfort in numbers, who blend into the expectations of the world. And then there is the chosen woman, the one who cannot walk like the rest, live like the rest, or think like the rest. She walks alone, not because she desires loneliness, but because she is set apart. She is called to a higher purpose, and the weight of that calling makes ordinary companionship impossible. No matter where she goes, a chosen woman always stands apart. She is like a flame in the midst of dim lights, a force that cannot be ignored. From an early age she realizes that she is different, not by choice, but by design. She watches as others easily adapt, molding themselves to fit into their surroundings, laughing at jokes they don't find funny, following trends that mean nothing to them, and accepting rules they never question. But she cannot do the same. Something within her resists the urge to conform, a deep knowing that she was never meant to fit in, but to stand out. She tries. Oh, how she tries! She attempts to silence her thoughts, to walk in step with the crowd, to blend into conversations that feel shallow to her soul. She wears the mask of normalcy, hoping it will ease the tension of always feeling like the outsider. But it never works. The moment she speaks, her words carry a weight that others do not. The moment she moves, her presence commands attention, even when she wishes to go unnoticed. She cannot be hidden. Her very essence disrupts the room, demanding recognition, whether she seeks it or not. People sense it, though they may not understand it. Some are drawn to her, intrigued by the mystery of her presence, wanting to be close to what they cannot define. Others are intimidated, feeling uneasy in her company, as if her very being exposes something within them. She walks into a room, and conversations shift. Eyes turn, and whispers begin. She has not spoken, yet her presence speaks volumes. She does not force herself into spaces, the spaces react to her existence. And yet with all this she often feels alone, not because she lacks people around her, but because she lacks those who truly see her. She longs for connection, for a sense of belonging, but each time she attempts to find it in the usual places, she is met with disappointment. Friendships feel one-sided, relationships lack depth, and social circles feel suffocating. She questions herself, wondering if there is something wrong with her, if she is the one who refuses to let go and just be like the rest. But deep down, she knows the truth. She was never meant to fit in. There is a cost to being set apart. It means walking roads that others do not travel. It means enduring loneliness that few can understand. It means standing firm when the world pressures her to bend. It means embracing her uniqueness even when it isolates her. But in this isolation she finds her strength. In her difference she discovers her purpose, and though she may walk alone, she walks in power, knowing that she was never created to be ordinary. A chosen woman carries an undeniable presence, one that speaks before she even opens her mouth. She does not shrink to make others comfortable, nor does she dilute her intelligence to avoid unsettling fragile egos. She walks with an air of certainty, speaks with authority, and holds herself with an unshakable confidence that is both rare and powerful. And for this reason she intimidates those who are weak in spirit, in mind, and in character. Some admire her, drawn to her strength like moths to a flame. Others resent her, their insecurities rattled by the mere fact that she exists outside their control. But no one can ignore her. The weak do not know how to handle a woman who does not need validation. They have spent their lives in a world where approval must be earned, where acceptance is bartered for compliance. Yet here she stands, needing none of it. She does not seek permission to be herself. She does not ask for acceptance. She does not soften her edges to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. This disrupts the order that small minds cling to. It threatens those who rely on dominance, manipulation, or false authority to feel powerful. She does not bow to them, and that is enough to make them uneasy. When she speaks, her words carry weight. They are not empty, nor are they laced with the flattery that the weak crave. She does not sugarcoat truth to spare feelings, or withhold wisdom to make others feel bigger. She challenges, she inspires, and she provokes thought. And for those who are secure in themselves, this is a gift. They welcome her insight, respect her confidence, and grow from her presence. But for those who are unsure of themselves, for those who build their worth on external validation, she is a threat. They will twist her strength into arrogance, her confidence into defiance, and her wisdom into condescension, because they cannot see past their own insecurities. Men who are weak in spirit are often the most rattled by her existence. They are accustomed to women who shrink, who seek approval, who mold themselves to fit into the image of what is expected. But the chosen woman does not play by these rules. She does not flatter to gain favor, nor does she pretend to be less than she is to make a man feel like more. She respects strength, not control. She admires leadership, not manipulation, and when a man cannot rise to meet her, he will attempt to pull her down instead. He will call her difficult, too much, impossible to please, not because she is any of these things, but because he is unwilling to grow into the man she requires. Even among women, she finds herself met with a mix of admiration and resentment. Some will look at her and see an example of what is possible, a reminder that they too can walk in strength, wisdom, and confidence. Others will see a threat, a mirror reflecting everything they fear they are not. They will talk about her behind her back, diminish her achievements, and question her motives, not because she has wronged them, but because her very presence unsettles their spirit. She does not engage in their petty games, nor does she lower herself to seek their approval. She knows who she is, and that alone is enough to divide those who support her from those who secretly despise her. But she does not exist to please the weak. She does not dim her light to comfort those who refuse to grow. She does not silence herself to soothe fragile egos. She stands firm in who she is, regardless of who can handle it, and in doing so she paves the way for others to rise, to embrace their own strength, to walk with the same confidence that she does. The weak may resent her, but the strong will recognize her, and in the end it is not the weak who determine her worth. It is the undeniable presence of her own power that speaks for itself. A chosen woman does not remain stagnant. She is constantly evolving, learning, and becoming more of who she was meant to be. Her mind is always expanding, her spirit reaching for new heights, and her vision stretching beyond what most people can comprehend. Because of this, relationships that once felt warm and secure begin to feel limiting. Conversations that once intrigued her now seem shallow. The people who once stood beside her struggle to keep up, and slowly, almost without trying, she outgrows them. Not because she wants to, but because she must. Growth demands it. Friendships fade, not out of malice, but because the path she walks is different. She finds herself seeking deeper conversations, richer experiences, and meaningful connections that challenge her, not just entertain her. Yet many of the people she once called friends are content with staying the same. They do not understand her hunger for more, her relentless pursuit of purpose, or her refusal to settle. She does not look down on them, nor does she judge them for staying where they are. But she knows that she cannot remain in a place that no longer nurtures her growth. Romantic relationships often suffer the same fate. When she meets a man, he may admire her drive, her depth, and her wisdom, but admiration is not always enough. Many men expect her to remain the same woman they first met, to fit into the mold they are comfortable with. They do not realize that she is ever-changing, constantly evolving into a higher version of herself. And if a man is unwilling to grow alongside her, the relationship will inevitably fall apart. She will not shrink to make a man feel bigger. She will not pause her progress to accommodate someone who refuses to move forward. This is not an easy reality to accept. At times she feels the weight of loneliness pressing upon her. She wonders if she will ever find people who truly understand her, who do not fear her growth but celebrate it. She longs for companionship, but not at the cost of her own evolution. She knows that the only thing more painful than outgrowing people is staying in relationships that no longer align with her journey, and so she walks away, not because she wants to, but because she has no choice. Some will resent her for this. They will call her distant, ungrateful, even arrogant. They will accuse her of thinking she is better than others, when in reality she simply refuses to settle for less than what she was meant for. They will try to pull her back, to remind her of who she used to be, to guilt her into staying the same. But she cannot return to a version of herself that no longer exists. She cannot pretend to be content with what once satisfied her. There will be times when she looks back, longing for the simplicity of old friendships, the familiarity of past relationships. But she knows that if she were to return, she would find nothing but emptiness. She would see that the connections she once cherished were not meant to last forever. They served their purpose, teaching her, shaping her, and preparing her for the next level, but they were never meant to accompany her beyond a certain point. In time she will find her people, those who do not fear her growth but embrace it, those who walk their own paths of evolution and understand what it means to constantly rise. She will attract those who match her energy, who challenge her, and who inspire her to keep going higher. But until then she walks alone, trusting that every step forward is leading her to the place where she truly belongs. She does not mourn the past, nor does she cling to what no longer serves her. She moves forward with grace, knowing that outgrowing relationships is not a loss. It is a sign that she is exactly where she is meant to be. A chosen woman knows her worth. She knows that she was not placed on this earth to live an ordinary life, to accept mediocrity, or to compromise her values just to fit in. Whether in love, work, or her greater purpose, she refuses to settle for anything less than what aligns with her destiny. This decision does not come without its costs. It isolates her, makes her journey lonelier, and forces her to walk roads that few dare to tread, but in the end it is far more rewarding than a life lived in quiet dissatisfaction. In love, she refuses to accept a man who does not recognize her value. She will not lower her standards for the sake of convenience, nor will she tolerate disrespect in exchange for fleeting affection. She is not impressed by empty words, meaningless gestures, or shallow pursuits. She seeks depth, connection, and a love that matches her in strength, passion, and purpose. And because of this she often finds herself alone. She watches as others settle for half-hearted love, for men who do not cherish them, for relationships built on insecurity rather than true partnership. But she would rather walk alone than bind herself to a love that does not honor her soul. In her work, she refuses to be confined by the expectations of others. She is not content with a job that drains her spirit, a career that offers security but no fulfillment. She knows that she was made for more. She sees people around her who settle for comfort, who trade their dreams for a paycheck, who silence their calling in exchange for stability. But she cannot do the same. She cannot ignore the fire burning within her, the vision that refuses to leave her mind, the purpose that calls her forward. Even if it means taking risks, facing uncertainty, and walking a path that others do not understand, she will not settle for less than what she was created to do. Her refusal to settle often makes her an outcast. People do not understand her choices. They tell her to be realistic, to lower her expectations, to accept what is available rather than wait for what is truly meant for her. But she does not live by their rules. She does not allow fear to dictate her decisions. She knows that settling may offer temporary comfort, but it will never bring lasting fulfillment. And so she stands firm, even when others doubt her, even when she is called stubborn, even when she is told she is asking for too much. This path is not easy. There are moments of doubt, moments where she questions if she is being too rigid, if she is expecting too much, if she should just accept what is in front of her rather than hold out for something greater. The loneliness can be heavy, the waiting can be painful, and the uncertainty can be overwhelming. But deep down, she knows that compromising would hurt far more. She knows that to settle would be to betray herself, to dim her own light, to live a life that was never meant for her. The rewards of her patience and perseverance are undeniable. She sees those who settled before her, and she sees their quiet regret. She hears it in their words, in the way they justify their choices, in the way they speak of what could have been. She refuses to live with that kind of regret. She chooses instead to wait for the right love, the right opportunity, the right calling. Even if it takes longer, even if it requires sacrifice, even if it means she walks alone for a season. There is power in knowing what she deserves. There is strength in refusing to accept anything less. Some may call her difficult, impossible, or too demanding, but she knows better. She is not asking for too much, she is simply refusing to accept too little. She is not hard to please, she just cannot be fooled by superficiality. She does not reject what is good, she simply knows that what is best is still ahead of her. This mindset does not come from arrogance, but from a deep understanding of her own worth. She does not expect perfection, nor does she demand that everything be handed to her. She is willing to work, to wait, to fight for what is rightfully hers, but she will not compromise her soul, her integrity, or her destiny in the process. She inspires others by standing firm in her truth. Women who once believed they had no choice but to settle look at her and see another way. They see that it is possible to wait, to trust, to believe that what is truly meant for them will not require them to lower their standards or betray their own hearts. She is living proof that patience and self-respect lead to a life far richer than one built on compromise. At the end of the day, she may walk alone, but she walks with purpose. She may wait longer, but she waits with faith. She may face criticism, but she stands with confidence, and when she finally receives what is meant for her, whether in love, career, or purpose, she will know that every lonely night, every moment of doubt, and every sacrifice was worth it, because she will not just be existing, she will be truly living. There are those who walk paths that are familiar, well trodden by the feet of many. Their way is accepted, understood, and embraced by the world around them. They move with the crowd, blending into the rhythm of society's expectations. But a chosen woman walks a different road, one that is narrow, often lonely, and filled with trials that few could endure. She does not walk where others walk because her destination is not where others are going. She carries a vision too great, a mission too high for many to grasp, and so she moves forward, even if she must walk alone. From an early age she realizes she is different. While others are content with ordinary pursuits, she hungers for something greater. She cannot explain it, nor can she fully understand why she does not fit in. She tries to blend in, to follow the same path as those around her, but no matter how much she tries, something inside her resists. The dreams that stir within her are too vast, the call on her life too powerful to ignore. Even when she desires to walk an easier path, the fire within her refuses to be extinguished. Her choices often confuse those around her. She turns down opportunities that others would eagerly accept. She refuses relationships that seem perfect on the surface. She declines offers that do not align with her higher purpose. To the world, she seems foolish. Why would she reject comfort, security, and ease? Why would she willingly walk a harder road? But they do not see what she sees. They do not understand what she is building, what she is waiting for. Many will try to change her. They will tell her to lower her expectations, to stop dreaming so big, to accept what is available rather than wait for what is meant for her. Some will mock her, thinking she is lost, confused, or arrogant. Others will criticize her for not following the normal path, for not settling into the roles that society has carved out for women like her, but she refuses to be defined by their limitations. She was not born to fit in, she was born to rise above. The loneliness can be painful. There are moments when she longs for someone who truly understands her, someone who sees the world as she does, who shares her vision and her hunger. She watches others gather in groups, sharing common interests and familiar dreams, while she walks alone. carrying the weight of something bigger than herself. There are times when she questions whether she should abandon this path, whether it is worth the solitude, whether she should simply conform and make life easier, but deep inside she knows she cannot. She finds solace in her purpose. While others seek approval and acceptance, she seeks fulfillment. While others chase after temporary pleasures, she builds something eternal. She understands that greatness is never found in the crowd. It is found in the quiet places, in the moments of sacrifice, in the unwavering commitment to something greater than oneself. She embraces the reality that the path of the chosen is rarely crowded. It is meant for the few who dare to pursue what others cannot even comprehend. Every great woman who has ever changed the world has walked this path. They too were misunderstood. They too faced loneliness and opposition. They too were told they were too much, too ambitious, too different. But they did not let the opinions of others dictate their destiny. They pressed on, despite the doubts, despite the loneliness, despite the resistance, and in the end they reached places others could never dream of. She reminds herself of this when the road feels heavy. She remembers that her solitude is not a punishment, it is a preparation. She is being refined, strengthened, and molded into the woman she is meant to be. The trials, the rejection, the misunderstandings, they are all shaping her, sharpening her, making her unstoppable. She is not being isolated to be forgotten. She is being set apart for something extraordinary. In time she will find others like her. Though the road is narrow, there are others who walk it. Others who have refused to settle, who have embraced their calling, who understand what it means to stand alone in pursuit of something greater. When she meets them, there will be an unspoken understanding, a recognition of shared struggles and victories. She will realize that she was never truly alone. She was simply walking ahead, paving the way for those who would follow. She does not resent those who do not understand her. She does not hold bitterness toward those who criticize her. She knows that her journey is not for them to comprehend. They were not given her vision, her calling, her destiny. They are walking their own roads, and she blesses them on their journey, but she will not shrink to make them comfortable. She will not abandon her path to fit into theirs. She moves forward with faith, knowing that every step is leading her closer to her purpose. She does not need validation from the world. She does not seek approval from those who cannot see what she sees. She walks with confidence, even when the road is uncertain, even when the destination is not yet clear. She trusts that as long as she stays true to her calling, she will end up exactly where she is meant to be. This is the price of being chosen, to walk a road that few will understand, to endure seasons of loneliness, rejection, and doubt, but this is also the reward, to build a life that is extraordinary, to fulfill a purpose that is greater than anything she could have imagined, to become a woman that history will never forget. And so she walks on, alone but never lost, misunderstood but never defeated, set apart but never forsaken. Because she knows that the path she walks leads to something far greater than anything the world could offer.